I am doing well. I got a new shirt. You didn't even notice, but that's okay.
Uh,
All right. So, bless our managers' hearts. Bless their hearts. So many
mm,
times, whether I was on the team or I was a team adjacent, we had these well-meaning managers, and they weren't used to managing within an agile, right, environment. So they come in with this 1890 Frederick Taylorism command and control. Have you ever experienced that? I think I'm a little older than you. Maybe nowadays managers come and they know how to be an agile manager, how to be a coach and a mentor, not a do this or you're in trouble.
I think what I've experienced with that is the not transparent person behind the
Hmm.
scenes. They're kind of the command and control. That's what they want, but they preach outwardly this whole agile transparency. We're going to work together. We're going to collaborate, and then they send out a memo that says, "Why can't you just do it this way? Tell them to do it this way."
Them.
But no, we're agile, we're transparent, we collaborate, but do it this way. So they're kind of deceiving, I think, is now more than just the traditional in your face command and control.
Ooh, it's even more tricky. That's a good point. Oh, yeah, that's a great point where they say, "Oh, yeah, you're empowered, do what you want," and
Mhm.
then like you said, behind the scenes, "Well, this is the weird metric we're gonna make you try to meet." Like, "Wait,
Yep.
what? What's happening?" Uh, uh, Getting on Indeed, finding a new job.
Yeah, that happens.
So, what are some specific, we'll just call bad behaviors of somebody in senior management, middle management, aside management that you've seen that prevents the team from truly capturing the beauty and goodness of agile and delivering more awesome quality faster?
One thing that sticks in my head would be the existence of a shadow backlog.
Shadow backlog.
Shadow backlog. And what that is that you have your, transparency is key in agile, and visualizing your work. You have your backlog for your teams to really drive through and to really work on. But then there are times when there is this shadow backlog, or this not really visual backlog, just a to-do list of things that we want you to do. And the manager will sneak in and drop some tasks, drop some to-do items on your scrum team when they're supposed to be focusing on their sprint backlog. And then it's, well, who do I answer to? Do I work with my product owner and keep working on my sprint backlog? Or do I go and do this stuff for this guy, girl, person over here who's paying my salary? I know. Do you see how I threw that in there?
I'm so proud
Um,
of you.
so who do I answer to? And that creates confusion, conflict, and issues within your team that they don't know. And if that continues on and on, it's going to erode your team. I've seen it
Oh,
happen.
I got eroded by that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. One of my first team or scrum teams I was on, I was in QA, and the vice no, I don't know, director, senior director, whatever, some hot shot would come literally to my desk. I had my backlog that I was
Mhm.
working on or whatever, my sprinkles, and
Yep.
he would say there's other teams that he managed. "Oh, I need you to test this. I need you to this." I can't say no. We'll call him Paul. Paul, I can't say no to Paul, and so I'm doing that, and since I'm a really, really good employee, I'm working nights and weekends trying to get everything to I know.
Lightning. Oh, hold on. I'm just waiting to see the lightning come into the video screen.
Yeah, I am. I'll kill myself for work, and that's not good, but that's me.
Another day, another
Yeah,
topic.
true. Yes, so not cool. So what would a good agile manager do when that I have this other stuff I need this group to work on? I need someone to test this other application. What could a good agile manager do?
I think keeping the lines of communication open, working with your product owners, include everyone into that. Priorities change. In the agile environment, your priorities are going to change. Things are going to come up. Production issues. The business people decided that we don't want that anymore. We're going to do this instead. And so it's going to happen. You just have to be prepared for it. But trying to do it covertly is the problem. Include your scrum masters, include your product owners, include your agile leaders, include your team, get everyone involved, I think is the start to getting that. Because if you get it on the table, then it can be prioritized. Yes, I understand You have some production backlog work that needs to be done, or not backlog, database work that needs to be done right now. I get it. It's cool. We have some architectural work that has to be done to set us up for 5 sprints down the road. That's awesome. Get it prioritized. Get it out there. Get it into the currently working backlogs so it can be prioritized appropriately. That's the first step to making it work right.
Could I say there's a step before that potentially?
Okay.
We'll call it step 0, um,
Okay.
since yours is the first. I think there's 2 fundamental problems going on with this scenario. One, no understanding of systems thinking, right? So I
True.
don't understand what I mean, you only have so much capacity with a given team. There's only so much they can do. And you don't realize when you're injecting your shadow backlog in, what's going to happen overall, not just your little thing that you want done, but everything could potentially be delayed or be poor quality because Jill's working at 2 a.m. So, not understanding the consequences and then thinking about not just your team. An awesome agile manager sees, okay, now we have some intercomponents. How do they interact and how can they maximize their time? And then only have enough work in progress that is realistic
What?
at
Whip
any
limit?
given
Come on
time,
now.
right? There's that fun not a misnomer, illusion. Well, if we want more work done, we'll just shove more work in progress. No, take my class.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. All right, and
I
here's
no, I highly recommend take that class. It's a really good class.
it'll change your.
Um,
I can't
I
say it'll
agree with
change your
you,
life. Nothing's ever changed my life
and I would
better.
I'll challenge you one step further
Hmm?
to the maybe it's not so much that they're not understanding or aware of systems thinking and the repercussions they are now creating across the entire system, but maybe they have ulterior motives. Maybe they're trying to show their boss or their vice president, hey, we're doing this. Look what we're gonna do this week.
Promote
And like
me. Promote me.
exactly.
Yes. Oh, so competing goals, maybe.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious. I have seen that so often. And once you see what's happening behind the scenes, right? The puppet master.
Mhm.
Um, for example, your CEO is saying, well, I want to make sure everybody's being really productive and productivity is increasing. So then I can brag to all my other CEO friends that have been actually become what do you become after CEO? King of the world or whatever. I don't know. Or
I don't
queen.
know. Simba? I don't know.
So I can't get too personal because I have all these people who watch this, but we had this exact same thing that happened at one of the organizations I worked with, and there was this person at the top who was competing with other senior
Mhm.
presidents, and he
Yep.
wanted to prove that he was better, so then he could get promoted and make billions of dollars. And so he came up with what he thought was genius. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Mhm.
We'll just measure it by velocity.
Yep.
We'll look at the velocities for each one of the teams, and then the expectation was you need to get 10% higher velocity year after year after year, or you don't get your bonus. And then so this dude would tell the dudes below him, and they wanted to, win and
Yep.
then get higher. But the effect, what do you imagine the effect was in reality?
Oh,
Do you
you
think
can
we
give me
made that metric?
any metric. You give me one metric you want to hit, I'll game the system and the numbers. You're going to hit it and do better every single time. Any team can do that, but you're not reflecting actual work, or more importantly, you're not delivering actual value to your
Mm,
customer.
mm,
Put
yes.
that in your peace pipe and smoke it.
Bing. Well, and it kind of broke the whole story point modeling
Mhm.
construct down for us. And so,
Yep.
when I worked on a team, they genuinely believed that was a thing they needed to do, which apparently we did. So we would literally spend 2 hours trying to get the right estimate for each work, so our
Mhm.
velocity would show that.
Yeah.
Dub. So yeah, not cool. So here's my other now that I'm on this, what about ego? Hmm. I went
Mm.
there. I went there. I'm seeing I'm not just in business, but in government. I think m
It's big
there's
because
power.
you it is, and it's huge because you're brought in to do a job. Let's say you're a new person, VP level, director level. You're brought in to make an impact, to make changes. And you've been in a system that has worked before. So you just come in and you're going to shoehorn that system into the current
Mm.
state and expect it to just start working like that. Well, I am this person who did this, and I can just make you do it here. And you need to back off the ego a little bit and learn that you're pretty much throwing a grenade right in the middle of your organization, and that's not fun.
I guess
So
why should they care?
why should they care?
Yeah, on a personal
Um,
level. If I have my agenda, I wanna be a billionaire and, power. I've never had power, but I hear it's alluring.
yeah. Power would be nice. It'd be real nice. Mostly because why they should care, my opinion is you're going to get your quick wins. You're going to get your next year or two, you're going to get some wins. But when you've built a really shoddy foundation, eventually the storms are going to roll in. They're going to wash that sand out from underneath of it, and it's going to crumble in front of you. And eventually you leave enough trail of crumbling foundations, your ability to get that next $1 billion job is gone, because
Sure.
people look back and they're like, okay, well, this company crumbled. Oh, well, that company, they crumbled too. Where's the common theme here? And so
Ah,
people
it's
don't
all
recognize
out
that.
there on the internet. That is a good
Interwebs
point.
never go away. Oh man.
I know. Well, that is interesting because, it's like if I was the CEO, I'm looking at sustainability for our
Mhm.
company, value output. That's the thread that I want to measure. And if I have managers who are subverting that, first of all, if I have 300,000 employees, I may not know, but that's who I would want to hire
Yep.
to help manage the work. When we're in power, that's what we'll do. All
There
right.
we go.
So I have one for you. I guess it's
Okay.
beefs. Beefs about bad managers. Here's my beef number. I don't even know how many.
37.
Beef. It's gonna be here all day. So managing the workers, micromanaging the workers instead of the work. So, for example, you're pinging your team 12 times a day to get status updates. And then you have your one on ones, and it's just the manager doing all the talking and telling me this is how you need to code it, not listening or asking any questions.
Yep.
It's just nasty. Have you ever encountered that before?
It's frustrating because you have that micromanager, and honestly, I believe they think they're doing a good job.
I
They
agree.
think this is the way it should be, and it doesn't work because people don't want. I don't want someone standing over my shoulder. I can tell you, the best agile manager I've ever worked with basically told me, we're going to have 2 week one-on-ones just to kind of touch base, see where we're at. If you don't hear from me for 2 weeks, you're doing a good job.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let me run. Let
So
me do
when
my
you
job.
did hear from him, it meant you were doing a bad job?
Well, no, but what he meant was, if I'm not
Implied.
constantly in your grill, if I'm not constantly checking on
Oh,
you in that type, that type of thing, if I'm not over your shoulder, and if I'm not saying do this and do
yeah,
that, you're doing a great job. If I have no reason other than normal work to come talk to you about, like, hey, well, let's try this or whatever. But if I'm not talking to you about performance other than every 2 weeks, aces. And
yeah.
that is phenomenal, because when you lay that groundwork and you lay that out in front, people are like, I can work. I can
I've
just do
got
my job,
time to do my
and I can
job.
do it well. I can do the best of my ability. And if for
Yeah.
some reason it doesn't work, they'll come and help me get better.
Yes, I love that. And for me, a good agile manager would also carve out time to give me my atta kids. Atta kid, you did good because I need praise. I need people to like me, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I do.
Oh,
I wanna feel
Jill,
valued.
we all love you, Jill. Everyone loves Jill. Don't
Everyone.
get me
Yeah, I
wrong.
wish. No, I don't. I don't want no. Jill's rant.
There she
Okay.
goes again, people.
Getting a little bit all verklempt. All right, so, for the thing that stop dancing. Don't make me come over there. Okay. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Okay, 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 okay. So,
Shocker.
I know. What? My brain. Um, so you have these managers, and what you said really struck a chord. They, at the end of the day, are like, "Wow, I did all this and this and this and this," and they're like, "I'm a rock star," and I think they really do mean well. They're not bad
Mhm.
people necessarily.
For the
Um,
most part, I agree.
so how do we help? them shift mindset. And then I think part of it, sorry I interrupted you. Part of it
Mm.
is, well, if I don't do this, what in the world will I do all day? Bam. I threw it to you.
That is the $1,000,000 question. If anybody could come on here and give us the perfect answer to that question, I will ride their coattails to the millionaire land, because um, there's little things you can do to help, but I don't think anyone really can get through that, because if you try to solve a problem, one of the first steps is to recognize there is something that needs
Mm,
a solution. And these folks,
that's
there
right.
is nothing that needs a solution. They're doing just fine. Their work, their team's doing this, their team's doing that. We're producing, we're doing this. Yeah, we could probably be a little better, but we're still delivering
Mm,
value. So they don't recognize what they're doing. I think maybe one way is to, again, I always draw back to communication, but sit down, talk to them and say, hey, I've noticed that these are some of the things that we've seen you doing lately, and this is the impact that it's having on the team and the organization around that team. Was that your intended process? Was that your intended outcome?
mm,
And if not, let's talk about how we get to that, your intended outcome. How do we solve that gap? Don't make it about the person. Don't attack the
right.
person. Make it about the behavior that is impacting the team. I think is the best way to communicate that.
Yes, absolutely. And you make a good point, because I was going to say, oh, go to my leadership training for Agile, and here's all the things you should be doing, because you'll have time now because you're not micromanaging. But step one is I have to actually want to do that, or at
Yep.
least be curious. Be
Yep.
curious.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Awesome. All right. Any other
All right.
beefs? All right.
Um, I think for me, it would have to be the going back to the deceitful kind of covert operations. And an example I have is, as a scrum master, we have to lead without authority. There's no one that reports to me. I can't just go in and tell the scrum team, hey, do this. Hey, do it this way. It's not what we do.
Right.
And for managers to go to a scrum master and say, hey, just go tell your team to do this.
Ooh.
It's like, well, okay, first, I can't. They would look
Yeah.
at me and laugh, because they know that's not coming from me. And the fact that the manager didn't have enough gumption to just go
Mm,
to the team and try to say, do it this way themselves. They're doing that kind of backhanded, covert kind of thing. And that's huge for me. Just come out and be mean. Come out and be the biggest mean person I've ever
yeah.
worked with. I can respect that way more than trying to go behind the scenes and manipulate puppet
Oh,
master.
and then making you the bad guy.
Yep.
Oh, wow, that is not cool.
Not cool at all.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I've ever had that happen. I probably have. I've probably blocked it out conveniently, but that's not cool.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're a manager or wanna be a manager, you're being managed. Manage me. I hate that word in some contexts.
Yeah. Man, I
Here's
think managers it needs to be leaders. Go away with it.
leaders. I know. And, there you go. Another bad management behavior. They're not leading.
Exactly.
Here's the vision,
We
connecting the dots.
we have too many beefs for our timetable.
We do got about
We
a
have
lot of
we have
beefs. Oh my
such a
goodness, you're right. Wow, this went by
I
fast.
know.
This was fun.
I know.
All right, let's wrap her up, Jimmy.
Wrap it up. All right, folks. Hey, we appreciate you jumping on here. If there is anything that's sticking in your craw, anything you want us to rant and rave about, or it's old school, sticking in, you never heard that? Girl, you
I
gave me
have
that
heard it.
look.
Isn't that the bird thing? Is it right there? I was trying to
I
picture.
don't
Where's my
know.
craw? I think it's right here.
It's one of those old person things that I say a
I
lot.
have
See?
something stuck in my craw.
See? Yeah. But hey, if there's anything you want to hear us rant about or discuss or talk about, or just in general, whatever,
Yeah,
put it in the comments below. Please subscribe to our channel. We'd love to see your
click
comments and
button.
get you exactly and get you more involved.